Hello everybody and welcome to PandaOnPC. My name is Richard and this is 15 minutes of free-to-play Warmode edition. So Warmode is a first-person shooter that is free-to-play. It's just released on Steam. I was just showing you the options menu there, which is not too bad for a free-to-play game. This game I think is developed by a bunch of indie developers. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't do any research on it. It feels very indie though with how everything's put together. These are the only buyable things, and they're only cosmetic. So this is the first map, and this is Pripyat, which we all know is just Chernobyl, and it just feels, like a clone of maps we've seen before. It feels like a COD 4 map clone, and this whole game is a weird eclectic mix of Call of Duty and Counter-Strike. Now, I'll explain myself there. You have to buy guns. You have got to buy your loadouts at the start of the game, which is super weird. Like for an arena shooter, which is basically what this game is. It's not a tactical shooter at all. It's very much an arena shooter, like Call of Duty. It's in the same vein as Call of Duty, but then you've got weird things like you've got to buy your weapons when you enter the match. But once you've bought the weapon, it's like Call of Duty, and you keep the weapon as part of your class. I'm going to put in quotation marks because it's not a quote. It's not like a class. You don't set to a class. It's like Counter-Strike. You buy stuff, but there's no perks. This is showing how crappy the pistol is. Does no damage whatsoever. Yeah, it's a weird mix. Like, and if you look at the top, where it says 150, the Reds were on 149 and 127. The next bit of footage, well, the next like the whole 15 minutes or so, 40 minutes left, I think. If you look at the top, when someone dies, one of those little coloured cubes disappears, and when they respawn it comes back, which is like Counter-Strike, but I don't know why it needs to be there. Like you never mind. So this game has issues. Obviously you're always going to get that with independently developed games that you know, designed to be free to play. Indie developers don't have the resources that AAA games developers have, and obviously then you've got to cut the developers a bit of slack. You can't just go around going, oh well, it's meant to be Call of Duty, but it's not quite there. Obviously not. Like, these guys, they clearly don't have any of the resources that people like Activision really do. This is showing that P90 has no recoil whatsoever at all. Like, I know it's a submachine gun, but there should be a little bit. It just shoots straight, and that was showing the awful reload animation. It's so in your face. Like, the bloke basically pulls his hand through his skull to get a new clip. That's just weird. I know the P90 reloads like that. After this next bit of footage, we're going to compare it to how Battlefield 3's P90 reloads, which is a lot better. I'm just going to let you listen to how this one sounds. It doesn't feel punchy at all. Like, none of the guns in this game have any substance to them. They all feel like paintball guns. When you're shooting them, they shoot in a direct straight line. There's barely any recoil. This is the Battlefield 3 footage, and you see the P90 has visible recoil, even when you're ADSing. Like, guns have recoil. This game seems to not understand the fact that guns have recoil. This is the same pistol that I'm using in the game as well. I don't understand why the developers, yes, they're indie, blah de blah, but you could at least put a little bit of recoil in. They've got a tiny amount. A teeny tiny amount of recoil, but that's just not... It's not enough. And when you're aiming down sight, specifically with like a really powerful weapon, I've got a bit of footage from a Desert Eagle later on. Obviously everyone knows what a Desert Eagle... There's the AK, hang on, I'll continue the Desert Eagle thing in a second. The AK is shooting a straight line. It's like a fucking laser gun, right? It's like if Han Solo shot first. If Han Solo was a character in this game, he'd use the AK because it just shoots straight. You can't miss with the AK. You just hold the right mouse button down. Actually, you don't hold the right mouse button down. I'm going to complain about that later. You hold the trigger trigger. You don't even have to aim. Just hip fire and everything within a 10-mile radius drops dead on the floor. What was I saying? Desert Eagle, yes. There's a bit of footage coming up of the Desert Eagle has no recoil. And it has even less recoil if you're ADSing. Like, it jumps a couple of pixels up, and that's it. This is a big problem with the game. You can just run into the enemy spawn. Oh, this is a Renault van. I was looking at it like, this is weird. My mouse froze for a second there. Weird input issue. We're going inside. Look, they haven't even bothered to straighten the photo that they've taken so that it looks like it's going all the way through. It's at a weird angle. Like, they've taken the photo from a bit behind the front door or a bit in front. I can't tell, but it's not right. It's not right. It doesn't look right. It's weird. Oh yeah, and this truck-based van next to us is a Mercedes Sprinter, which I'm sure they also don't have the license to. I don't know why indie developers feel like they can get away with stuff like this. This is incidentally one of the better guns in the game, simply because you can aim down the sights and actually see a fucking enemy. Got a clip of the FAMAS later, which is appalling. It is actually bad how little you can see. I know the FAMAS in real life has shitty iron sights. I know that, but they could have put a red dot on it. You'll see it later. Like, the P90 has a red dot for that specific reason. I don't know why they couldn't just do it with the FAMAS as well. Obviously they don't have sights on all the weapons. And all the weapons in most of the servers have their default skin. However, I was playing a server yesterday, actually recorded a lot of footage yesterday, but my recording program decided to record my microphone and not the game audio, so that's unusable. But I was on this server, and I'll put a couple of pictures up on the screen and will be footage. The server was clearly run by someone who liked making weapon skins for Counter-Strike, because there was an AK that looked like one of the weird, wacky, like, Kraken or whatnot skins you get in CSGO, and it had no place, because not every gun had a skin. There was the AK-47 had a skin, the UMP-45 had a skin. This is the AUG, it's got no range, it fires ridiculously slowly. I don't understand what they've clearly gone for a Counter-Strike thing, aiming down the sights. This is why I say it's a weird mix of Counter-Strike and Call of Duty. That's how slow the crouch animation is. So weird. Anyway, yeah, they had a weird eclectic number of skins on just random guns on the server that I played yesterday. It was clearly run by someone who liked making skins for CSGO, but they just didn't fit because not every single gun had a custom skin. This is the Deagle. Look, aiming down sights, it's just a fucking pea shooter. But the problem is, it's an OP pea shooter. Like, oh look, dead. Oh look, dead. I just don't understand This game is clearly made by a group of individuals who love first-person shooters. They obviously love playing first-person shooters. Specifically, from what I can garner from this game, is Counter-Strike and Call of Duty. You've got elements from both in. Like, you can buy armor, you can see in the bottom left, and there's an armor icon. And you can buy grenades, so it's very Counter-Strike-esque, but it's an arena shooter, it feels like Call of Duty. It's just... I can see potential in this game. This game could be very, very good. Oh, this is the FAMAS, incidentally. Look at that! It's like fucking Luke Skywalker flying down fucking Death Star trying to hit that one little pinprick of a fucking spot to blow up the whole bastard thing. It doesn't make any sense. What was I saying? Yeah, this game's clearly made by people who know first-person shooters. They've clearly played a lot of first-person shooters, but they've missed the point. Like, nothing feels quite right. There's no recoil. All the guns just sound awful. Every gun feels like a paintball gun. Like I said, they clearly know and love first-person shooters, and I can see potential in this game. This game could, over time, be a very solid first-person shooter, but in its current state, it's terrible. it might be worth a play to see if it's your thing. Incidentally, on this game I had like the whole footage. I've got weird lag. My internet at home at the moment it's a piece of shit. Yesterday it wasn't so bad, but today fucking BT have rammed their cocks so far up my router's ass. It's crying. It's crying in pain. So yeah, this game, like, and some of the maps, this is clearly shipment from Call of Duty 4. If you've ever played the Call of 4 multiplayer, this is just shipment. And there's a map at the end which is just Dust 2 from Counter-Strike, but obviously subtle differences. The maps are so small that you're in the other player's spawn almost instantly, which is very Call of Duty-esque, but the problem with the maps being so small in this game is you don't have random spawn points like in COD. Obviously in Call of Duty you spawn pretty much as far away from enemies as possible, and friendlies will spawn near you as long as you are nowhere near enemies. In this game you have set boxes of spawns, so clearly on this side you have up to these wooden boxes I just passed for that side spawn, and this side spawn you have up to the containers. And it just doesn't work because you can just run into the spawn, destroy everybody, and it's no fun. This guy's flowing. That was interesting. Oh, there you go. You've died in midair, and he's flown again. So yeah, the spawns need work. Definitely, if anything, the spawns need to be configured in such a way that you spawn randomly at certain points of the map that the enemies are not at. Because at the moment it's just utter bollocks. There's just massive choke points because you know where the enemy's going to be, and the enemy knows where you're going to be, so everyone just sits. There's no like real movement through the game, which is a shame, because if this game felt more like Call of Duty, it might be good. This map has a total of 6 assets that are not BSP brushes. 1, 2, 3, light bulb is 4, there is some wooden planks up here, which is 5, and we'll spot the 6th later. But the rest is literally just BSP brushes. From all I can tell, I don't know what engine it's made in. If it's made in Unreal Engine, it's just BSP brushes. Or if it's a proprietary engine, I can just imagine it's BSP brushes. Because if they modelled every single wall and beam and whatnot in this, it would have been a waste of time. I can just tell that it's BSP brushes, and it's so grey. It's the worst map in the whole game. It's grey. It's just corridors. The problem I have is I really want to like this game. I genuinely want to like this game. I'm an indie developer myself, and I like to support other indies. And I really, 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 really want to like this game. It has potential. I can see it having... you can't jump out of the walls. There's the other one. Look down there, those big concrete blocks. I can see people having a lot of fun with this game if they put in the time and the effort. But getting people to put in the time and the effort into this game is going to be the hardest point for the developers, because in its current state it's not worth putting any time in. Maybe an hour just to see what it's like, play a few games, but I don't know, it's lacking something. And until it figures out what it's lacking, it won't get any better. The sound design needs improving. The controls actually are fantastic. Like, everything responds as it should. Call of Duty, coincidentally, on PC doesn't respond as it should, because the input devices for Call of Duty on PC, actually, of the whole thing, the speed in which your input device tracks the game, or the speed at which the game moves your input device on screen, is dependent on the frame rate of the game, which is the problem with the engine. It's how it's coded. But this game isn't like that. This game, when you move your gun, it actually works. So that's pretty much all I've got to say on Warmode. It's an indie game. It has potential, but it's just lacking a little bit. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. This has been 15 minutes of free-to-play Warmode. My name is PandaOnPC, Richard. Please subscribe, like the video if you do, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.